Hey folks, I'm MysteriousJG and welcome back to Let's Play Mass Effect Codex. So, I've tried not to spoil too much of Andromeda for myself. I've come across... Uh, I've got some indications that maybe, I was kind of hoping, oh man, there's going to be, a bunch of new species. New hostile species, new friendly species. I mean, it's a whole new galaxy of world building. I've come across some information to indicate that we might not see, like the Mass Effect, the original Mass Effect game introduced us to, all these new species. You had your three main Citadel races, plus the Krogan, plus the Volus, plus the Elcor. The Batarians show up just really in the DLC, but they're talked about in dialogue. This is just in the original Mass Effect game now. You've got 7 non-human species of import. And then I forgot the Geth. The Reapers don't really... You just see one Reaper, and it's kind of the big bad that's still lurking in the background. If I can think of one species I've forgotten, the Keepers don't really count. I think I got all of them. The Volus and the Elcor are the two that are never quite... You never get team members. So it's... oh, yeah, no. The guys who say... this one wants to sell you many fine items. The squid guys whose names I don't remember. So that's 10. That's 10 species that the original Mass Effect game dumps on you with varying degrees of world building and, society and culture building behind them. I was kind of hoping we'd see that level in Andromeda. And I have seen some material unintentionally spoiled. We might not quite get there. I'm still hoping we come across some interesting species before this is over. But so far, the only species we've come across in Andromeda are a group of just, hostile for no apparent reason guys. It makes sense from a gameplay perspective. Yeah, we'll give you something to fight other than other Andromeda people. You need some heavies. You need some adversaries. But, excuse me, right now we've encountered one species, I guess... 2 if you count the remnants, but we got one species we've encountered, and they're hostile, and we fight them in firefights, and we know nothing about them. So I'm very underwhelmed so far, but hopefully there'll be an interesting story ultimately behind the Ket. According to Nexus officials, the aliens encountered on Habitat 7 are known as the Ket. Well, that seems to be what we call them. I don't know that that's their name. A species that has proven hostile in every reported encounter. Little is known about them or their motives. The Ket possess technology and weapons at least on par with the Initiatives, and have been responsible for the death or capture of many Initiative personnel. The only commonality is that the Ket have a clear interest in the strange structures and technology seen on Habitat 7 and, as we now know, on several worlds in the Helix Cluster. Scouts and prospecting teams trying to investigate this technology are invariably attacked by the Ket, who take any scans on or research materials by force. Why the Ket have such an interest in this technology is unknown. We keep assuming that it's not the Ket's technology. I suppose we've seen them fighting with the remnants and come to that conclusion. Nexus has issued warning bulletins to all off-station teams to avoid these sites for their own safety. Ket Anointed. The Ket soldiers known as the Anointed, again, this seems to be our name for them, appear to be of similar caste to the Chosen, infantry equipped with light armor anointed. However, wield heavy plasma cannons, making them a rallying point for other Ket forces, and shield themselves with kinetic barriers against splashback. A barrage from an anointed plasma cannon can shred through enemy barriers and severely damage ground vehicles. Communication intercepts suggest that Anointed assist in coordinating chosen squads and act as in an NCO role. It is unclear if the term Anointed refers to a senior rank amongst the Chosen, or if Anointed are part of a separate division within the Ket infantry. So apparently we know a little bit more about their language and structure than the Pathfinder has personally discovered. If we're calling them Anointed and we think we understand something of and not... the Anointed are NCOs. Basically, they're saying they're sergeants leading groups of privates. And that they're probably... NCO role? Maybe I don't know enough about military to understand how you would be able to determine whether it's an NCO or a commissioned officer if you don't even speak the language. But I guess we're assuming that their military functions very similar to the way ours does. But anyway, the Anointed, I'm surprised the Anointed are listed first. I guess it's alphabetical. Yeah, that makes sense. Because the Chosen are the ones we're seeing the most of. Chosen are the frontline soldiers of the Ket, encountered on multiple worlds as support for other Ket combatants. They are equipped with assault rifles that fire plasma-surrounded projectiles and light armor that allows them to move and deploy rapidly. Though their biology is still under investigation, they are capable of surviving in hazardous environments without protective gear. While quick to defer to the more senior individuals, Chosen appear to be disciplined and loyal soldiers, undeterred even by biotic attacks or heavy ordnance. They present a continuing risk to unarmed outposts. The name Chosen was intercepted and tentatively translated from Ket communications. If accurate, its significance is unclear since they are clearly the Ket's baseline infantry. Yeah, no, that's another thing. The name the name Chosen suggests that they're special, but they're the grunts. Then again, the few, the proud, the Marines. You go out there and you be infantry in an elite fighting force. You can still think of yourself as being pretty selective. Maybe there's like a huge population of non-military Ket out there that we're not seeing, or that these guys are the best of the species. The Wraith, nicknamed by initiative scouts unlucky enough to encounter them, although apparently they got out because they were able to come up with a nickname. Wraiths are war beasts capable of adjusting their carapace pigmentation to blend into their surroundings. Oh, bullshit. They're not blending in this. They're fucking invisible. It's not the same. It's not like it's a big war beast sitting on a green leaf and it turns green. It's light is passing through the fucking things, and you can see what was behind them. The ability lets them stalk an enemy over distances unseen or cause sudden disorder in enemy ranks, flushing targets to be picked off by other Ket forces. When attacking, Wraiths leap and strike with impressive jaw strength that can puncture ceramic armor. Wraiths present an interesting study of Nexus scientists, initially believed to originate from the same homeworld as the Ket, since they have similar physical characteristics. Wraiths show clear genetic similarity with other feral creatures sighted across the Helios cluster. So I don't really feel like I understand the Ket. Flora and fauna. I don't know if this is new or not. The wildlife and flora and fauna counter Helios cluster have adapted to the presence of the scourge. Okay, I guess this is new. The nature of life in the Andromeda galaxy was debated at length by Milky Way scholars. Many Milky Way species show convergent evolution, or upright bipeds of a certain height and atmospheric tolerance, leading some to theorize this pattern might give some evolutionary advantage, despite counterarguments by Hanar scientists. Interestingly, the Ket and Angara continue to fit the pattern. What's an Angara? What's an Angara? Did you accidentally spoil that there's going to be something called the Angara later game? I like the fact, they're almost fessing up to the fact that yes, even though it's a video game and it's all computer graphics and we could make these creatures look like whatever we want, we have followed Star Trek rules of having 90% of alien species be humans with funny-looking skin patterns and bits added. The wildlife and flora encountered in the Helios cluster have adapted, and they basically fessed up to the fact that the only species, other than the Elcor, which they don't mention, they've come up with that really just aren't funny-looking people, are the Hanar. The wildlife and flora encountered in the Helios cluster have adapted to the presence of the scourge, evolving epidermal layers or carapaces that can cope with ambient radiation. In the case of some plants, successfully feeding off it. Many use bioluminescence to attract prey or as a threat to mating, or mating display. Concerns were raised around the ability of Milky Way species to consume proteins from Andromeda, so seed banks formed a significant part of the Ark's cargo. We now know it is safe to consume food grown or hunted here, although enzyme supplements are recommended and have become a norm at mealtimes. The Remnant. Ancient machines with mysterious goals operate throughout the Helios cluster. Oh, there's a whole bunch of retreat here. Remnant interfacing. Interface! Remnant technologies require careful reactivation, dubbed interfacing, a process Alec Ryder, and I being MysteriousJG. No, it's narrative by Sam, we know that. First developed on Habitat 7, using glyphs, dense data packets of Remnant code, a working understanding of their language, and the interface capabilities of a Pathfinder implant, I can help you trigger control Remnant technology from appropriate locations through the use of Sudoku. Interfacing is the only way to activate certain Remnant technology, such as monoliths. Cat have repeatedly attempted to activate these sites by other increasingly desperate methods without success. Okay, so that's a thing. the Pathfinder and the AI on his head are the only ones who can make any of this shit work, which is why the Cath are, like, not getting anywhere. Not clear whether Remnant technology is designed to be activated by an AI. There's no evidence of artificial intelligence in the Remnant structures investigated thus far, and Remnant bots have only rudimentary programming. However, the glyphs contain recognition keys analogous to an electrocephalogram, implying that the system is designed to handle a form of neural input. Remnant creators. An artificial creation must have a creator, but there is scant evidence of whomever created the Remnant. I have consulted the Nexus scientists, scans obtained by Phoebe, and on the condition that I not rearrange your data and your records of your own investigation, but my conclusion remains speculation. We can be certain that the Remnant builders are several orders of sophistication above the Initiative's technology. Interlinked cluster-wide planetary engineering is beyond the logistics or budget of any known species. I'm glad they mentioned budget. Because I'm an accountant, folks. All I care about is revenue. The energy requirements alone suggest a Type 1 civilization on the Kardashians. Yeah, I care about nothing but revenue, which is why I've done absolutely nothing to monetize this channel. Because I know that people will come back 5 years later and demand their money back because of Zach McCracken. On a cultural level, I know it's been like 10 videos, but it was, for me, it was like something that happened yesterday. So, if you guys, it's like, oh my god, it's almost 2 weeks, shut the fuck up about this guy being mean to you. On a cultural level, the builders must have been intelligent and capable of large-scale cooperation. The proportion of the vaults and devices found suggests the species with similar physical traits to humans, of course. But with no genetic evidence left behind, their appearance, along with their motivations, remains a mystery. Can you guess who with the mystery? Remnant breachers. Created by assemblers, these breachers are levitating drones that move in rapid, aggressive bursts using a powerful micro-thruster. PB claims to have named them breachers after mistaking one for an observer and quickly realizing this new enemy broke the rules. That's lame. Analysis of breacher debris shows that their systems are fundamentally unstable. Power cores are improperly shielded, and with many of their inner workings are exposed. This suggests that they are created for short-term deployment to handle intruders who stray into Remnant territory, and in turn offer some insight into the Remnant builders' military doctrine. Combined with single-minded programming that focuses on hostiles, the volatile construction of the breachers makes them extremely dangerous. If provoked, the breacher will launch itself into an opponent and attempt to latch onto it, using exposed gears to grind through hard suits and cause severe damage. Yikes. When damage beyond repair, a breacher may trigger its power core to overload and self-destruct. Decryption. Most Remnant technology is in inert or standby mode, but some is secured with the decryption grid. Unlocking it requires arrangements. Yeah, you have to win a fucking Sudoku, we know. The glyphs cannot repeat on any straight line or within a pattern of square blocks. PB speculates this could be a safety measure, given the devastating consequences. Arrangements, the glyphs pretty complete after password code. They'll understand that they appear to form an almost palindromic Sator square sentence, but the first meaning would be required detailed explanation from the grid's designer. They're trying to explain why you have to win a fucking Sudoku. Saying that somehow it actually forms into a password or code phrase, and that the fact that you don't use the same symbol in two different ways is a mnemonic for the Remnant people, but no, it's fucking bullshit. They wanted you to play a mini game, and they didn't come up with one, they just make it Sudoku. That's it. I mean, just put that in your fucking Codex, BioWare. I love you. You're making us solve Sudokus. Remnant assemblers. Remnant assemblers were nicknamed for the ability to create smaller units known as breachers. I thought she came up with the breacher name first. I guess she came up with observers, then breachers, then assemblers. Each assembler contains a reservoir of unknown ferrofluid similar to Omnigel, which can be used to 3D print breachers on the spot with alarming speed. Tactically, assemblers focus on manufacturing reinforcements, moving to a safe distance during combat. If approached while in the hostile mode, the assembler can jettison partially computer power core of a breacher, which acts like an explosive grenade, causing a massive damage to enemies and allowing the assembler to withdraw. Upon creating a breacher, assembler transfers a full copy of its stored recent memory and battlefield disposition to the new Remnant, ensuring it's combat ready almost immediately. This capability means the assembler is constantly branching and partitioning its memory in preparation without loss of data, an interesting characteristic that may be useful in future artificial intelligence design. Yeah, that's right, because this artificial intelligence in our head wants us to build lots more artificial intelligence so they can take over Skynet. Remnant is the umbrella term coined for technology structures and autonomous bots that have been... Oh, the Remnant, so it starts with a T, so it's How did we go from remnant breacher, remnant decryption, remnant assembler? Oh, okay, it's not alphabetical. I really don't understand this sequence. Okay, seemingly abandoned by whoever created it. Remnant technology extremely advanced, but most of it's in standby status. Glyphs, coded, bots, guard, maintains installations do not appear to be sentient, but they are programmed to consider any interference with their technology as a hostile act. Cat have an inherent interest in technology. Site across the cluster attempt to study it. Evidence suggests the cat have not yet developed a reliable method of interfacing. They are not interfaced. And I'm skipping around now because I'm really kind of ready for the Codex stuff to be done. Remnant observers. Observer reporting observers. Mid to long-range remnant drones can be seen at most remnant sites. They are equipped with Element 0 cores that allow them to levitate and can normally be scanning or conducting maintenance at these sites. While they are the least robust of the remnant bots, wow, they seem pretty resilient to me. Observers are still a threat to unprepared explorers. Explorer-provoking. Examination of the destroyed remnant observers shows they have multiple sensor vectors, visual, oral, electromagnetic, and others as yet undefined, and a comprehensive toolkit of equipment for observation and maintenance, including an ultraviolet beam laser, serving partially as its primary weapon. The frequencies of observers' laser appear to react with remnant structures to induce a repair cycle. Observers are also capable of bringing other remnant online, likely as part of their maintenance duties. When asked, PB explains that the name observers with a "everywhere you go, they seem to be looking at you." Planets and locations. The Helios cluster contains many habitable worlds. Habitat 7. This place sucked. Could have killed our dad. Scourge. I don't know that we have new information on this. I better read it just to be safe, I guess. Scourge is the colloquial term for a huge and extremely dangerous interstellar phenomenon sighted across much of the Helios cluster. It appears to be a cloud spreading its tendrils to affect planets and surrounding space, destroying starships that attempt to pass through or near it. Early study of the Scourge has been difficult, as it does not match any previously known stellar body, leading it to many wild theories about its nature. Given the problems and observation of the Scourge's unaccounted effects on gravity, some have even suggested it is a dark energy phenomenon in the literal sense, meaning a form of energy that has no electromagnetic interaction and thus cannot be detected, hence dark, yet has strong negative pressure, causing expansive effects on a cosmic scale. Though the Scourge's characteristics don't match our understanding of dark energy, these theories persist while further observations are taken. Scourge is aggressively drawn to remnant structures on planets, though the cause of the attraction is not yet fully understood. This manifests as further tendrils of dust and radioactive. Okay, so again, my guess would be that this Scourge is deployed as a weapon by some species that was the ancient enemy of whatever species built the remnant stuff. We may encounter one, both, or neither of these species that were at war. Kind of like how the pyramid in Station Fall shows up and starts fucking your shit up, but it's actually a weapon that was being used by one species against another. Neither of those species actually appeared. It's just a weapon that got out of hand. But that's my guess. The manifests are further tendrils of dust and radioactive particulates that cling to the surface of remnant technology and interfere with its operations. Either this matter was left behind after the planet in question passed through the Scourge itself, or... Wait, I lost what I no longer understand what I'm reading. Scourge is aggressively drawn remnant structures, manifest tendrils... left behind after the planet question passed through the Scourge itself, or even distant interactions with remnant technology can cause the Scourge to coalesce spontaneously. In either case, even the minor manifestations of the Scourge demands additional caution when approaching remnant sites. No longer age data showed any sign of the Scourge before departure to Helios cluster. Next scientists suggest it must have appeared in the intervening centuries while the arks were traveling to Andromeda. One of the Scourge's most interesting characteristics, it appears artificial. My phone is ringing. I will go check the message later. There's no particular reason I would be calling me at this time of day. And the composition of the cloud could not have been caused by any celestial event known to astrophysics. Investigations are ongoing, thus slowed by the deadly conditions created by the Scourge. Andromeda Galaxy. We read Eos. Eos, designated Habitat 1, was the earliest golden world identified for outpost placement. Named for the Greek goddess of dawn by Gian Garson personally, Eos embodied the hopes of the Andromeda Initiative for a new start. On arrival, the Nexus discovered that a world projected to be arid but comfortably habitable was now ravaged by radioactive fallout from the Scourge. The planet's atmosphere is racked by storms that have spread the radiation across the continents. Periodic 130 km per hour winds strip through equipment and damage shuttles. 130 kilometers per hour. What kind of Euro measurements are we using in the space future? Reports from the Nexus indicate a sanitized account of 2 attempts to colonize the planet, both of which ended in failure and an unacceptable loss of life. There is also a significant cat presence on EOS, apparently investigating mysterious signals on the surface. EOS is now off limits to unauthorized Nexus personnel, as Nexus leadership believes it is no longer viable. Activating the vault discovered below EOS's surface has had a dramatic and immediate impact. Radioactive particles are being stripped from the atmosphere by unknown means, and the resulting temperature changes are calming EOS's high winds. The planet's moisture levels are already showing improvement. Prodromos, the first Pathfinder-established outpost, has been founded in Fairwinds Basin, with Mayor August Bradley in charge. The Nexus is broadcasting footage of departing colonists and the new conditions on EOS across all communications channels. Technology. Exploration tools. Oh, Jesus. I think... we've read all this. I'll tell you what, if anybody really wants to read it on their own time, I will scroll through and let you pause. But I think we already read these. Okay. Technology Research Center, and this might be new, and it might be actually useful to know. Give the initiative's current limitations, bandwidth, and resources carefully monitored. Nexus underlines the importance of new discoveries by rewarding scans and information via a points system, commonly referred to as research data points. These can be used for access. So they're coming up with a reason why scanning stuff gives you research currency. Sharding Andromeda. Communicating in QEC. Oh, this must be new because the artwork is based on something we only recently saw. Communication has always been a concern of interstellar colonists. Trade, defense, and political representation depend on reliable lines of communication. Most sophisticated lines of communications, quantum entanglement communications, utilize a pair of particles that are linked on a quantum level. Any effect on one particle is mirrored instantaneously by the other. Regardless of the distance between the two, Pathfinder implants use miniaturized QECs to remain in contact with their AI partners. However, manufacturing these is difficult, blah, blah, blah. Science words. Oh, the Scourge has hampered efforts to do something, so I'll go back and start reading again. Manufacturing these particles is a delicate and difficult process, especially with resources limited in Helios. Long-term, the Andromeda Initiative's plans to establish a common relay network transmitting data between voids linked by mass-free corridors of space. The Scourge has hampered these efforts. In the meantime... Okay. Forward stations. Automated forward stations are part of an initial wave of exploration and colonist deployment. They contain valuable resource caches for explorers to resupply. Repair stations for vehicles and ground-penetrating sensors to identify mineral deposits. Their presence improves chances of a planet being considered viable. When a planet is seriously considered for settlement or survey is ongoing, forward stations are seeded into orbit via automated barges once summoned. So they've got these caches of supplies that are so essential, and we're so resource starved, and yet we're putting them in these things that are orbiting the planet, and we don't even know when we're going to get around to using them. Anyway, so basically, they're safe. They're not safe points, but they're places where you can like restock all your shit in when you're in the mode of the game where you're just like free roam. These are places where you can come get like free healing and ammo. That's basically what they are. And you lay them out at like pre-designated locations, and it's a boost, and it increases viability, and it's a gameplay mechanic that they have tried to find an explanation for. So that's fair enough. They've done what they can. Current resource constructions mean that, in theory, only Pathfinders have official sanction to call down forward stations. In reality, reports show that enterprising colonists or unscrupulous scavengers have been known to hack the signals to raid the stations for supplies. Yeah, that makes sense. It does. Mining. Without a steady supply of minerals and metallic ores, the initiative's engineering capabilities grind to a halt. With plans so far off schedule, it's even more important to gather resources whenever possible. The ground Pathfinder scanners and the ground-penetrating radar up the forward stations assist in locating resources for immediate harvest or for colonists beginning their own mining operations in space. Initiative starships can pinpoint resources from orbit. Each ship is equipped with probes that contain both a sensor beacon and robotic drones that can harvest at least a percentage of any deposits quickly. Nexus relied on asteroid mining for the raw material to support the construction efforts, which yield heavy metals and platinum. Scourge is a rich source for element 0, but the hazardous conditions destroy most robotic telepresence, making it an expensive pursuit. Most prospectors look on nearby planets for jettisons, rock, and debris from the Scourge, which often contain ESO deposits. Terraforming. Terraforming is designed to make planets more viable for life. Soft terraforming involves the introduction of bacteria or ocean algae to bind toxic gases to create a hostile or just a hostile ecology. Hard terraforming is often conducted on arid planets with a thin atmosphere, using the impact of the comet or asteroid to warm the planet before introducing microbial life. This process can take centuries. Terraforming even a barren planet often takes significant financial and ethical hurdles. The Andromeda Initiative has the capability of terraforming if necessary, but is limited by the time frame involved. The Golden World surveyed from the Milky Way were intended to support quick colonist deployment, with second-tier candidates identified for potential terraforming later. The remnant vault on Eos is intended for terraforming. As the evidence shows, its function is unprecedented. The ability to effect change at a global scale in such a short time defies our understanding of planetary science and stasis, which I think we already read about. Tech and biotics. I did say I was going to give you guys a chance to read the text, so if you want to pause the video. But I think we've read all this stuff. We read about ESO already. We probably read about FTL drive. Mass effect fields. This is all background science from the last game. Although the artificial intelligence thing might be new. Virtual human intelligence is little more than an sophisticated interactive operating system. An artificial intelligence is a self-aware computing system capable of learning and independent decision-making. Creating an AI requires adaptive code, long education, and a specialized quantum computer known as a blue box. In the Milky Way, artificial intelligence is considered a threat to galactic civilization. The Geth synthetic life forms who turned on their core craters are often used as an example of the destructive capability of rogue AI, and those who attempt to create an AI without strict Citadel Council oversight of sexual sanctions or even arrest. Alec Ryder's research papers claim that an experiential separation is the root of conflict between organic and synthetic life, that an AI sharing the experience of its creator would have no desire to rebel. My connection to you, Pathfinder, implanted physiology makes me the first iteration of this new approach to AI, and then biotics, which show people being all weird and glowy. Ships and vehicles. Oh man, this is never going to end. Perchero is the Andromeda Initiative's designated vessel for transporting Solarian colonists to the new galaxy. Mirroring the design of its human counterpart, Hyperion Ark Perchero can accommodate 20,000 passengers and crew in cryogenic stasis. Perchero's development was plagued by early delays and disagreements between senior crew and the initiative's design team. The Solarian penchant for constantly pushing the boundaries of technology is often at odds with the realities of budgets and time constraints. At one point, it was calculated that if every necessary improvement suggested by the Solarian contingent was incorporated into the Perchero's design, its launch would have been delayed until 2204 at the soonest. Which is odd, because they're the guys who have the shortest lifespan. Considerable negotiation and debate, a compromise was reached, and Ark Perchero departed from Milky Way in 2185, and the initial wave of settlers under the command of Captain Lumont Hyger. The NDI Nomad, suitable scout rover Andromeda Initiative, purchased a promising but rejected design from the System Alliance military. The issue quickly became apparent on rough terrain. Without the bracing of heavy armor, its chassis was prone to twist. The initiative had already developed lightweight but strong memory alloys to solve this problem. Resulting NDI Nomad exchanges heavy armaments for superior agility. The rover has a triparite element 0 core, which allows fine control over acceleration and a more modest helium-3 fuel core cost for its micro thrusters. It's lightweight, enables both 6-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive, and 4-wheel steering. Blah blah blah. Adaptive philosophy. It fits the adaptive philosophy. Now make it be customized. The appropriate camouflage initiative colors. Necessary during long haul exploration. Yeah, you can also like paint shark's teeth on the mouth. You know, like an airplane. When, like a P-51 or something. When necessary, during long haul exploration, the rover contains emergency shelter. Can produce potable water from its hydrogen, oxygen, fuel cells. You can also convert your pee into water. It doesn't say that, but I'm sure it can. Scientists recommend adding a flavor pack to it first. Tempest. Tempest is a survey ship designed for long-range, long-term exploration under Pathfinder's command. It's lightweight. Efficient design allows it to operate with a small crew and with minimal resources. It has nothing to do with the Normandy. Shut up. Built by Andromeda Initiative, the Tempest makes use of several ones. Proprietary technologies, including an IES stealth system, originally developed by the Systems Alliance. Many of this, so it has a stealth drive. Why? Many of these systems were permitted on the condition that the Tempest only operate in the Andromeda galaxy. I mean, why would it need a stealth drive? Like, why would it have a stealth drive? That was supposed to be a big deal that the Normandy had one. If I can insert a paragraph that's not here. Lagman Industries decried this Tempest. Looks way too pretty and looks way too much like an airplane, even though there's no reason that it would. I guess it has to go in and out of atmosphere, so I guess it has some reason for aerodynamic properties. But basically, it just looks too pretty and not functional. End Lagman Industries comment. Tempest engines, variation on the arks Odyssey drives that allows long-term operation, capturing a percentage of the static buildup in capacitors. Recycled electrical charge, power several of the Tempest onboard system, Pathfinder vessel, Tempest has research and development facilities, blah 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 blah. Meeting spaces for dignitaries. Ark Lucina. Constructed in orbit around Piares in the Asari home system. Parnitha Ark Lucina is named after a kingdom of wealth and learning in Asari mythology. She is built to the same specifications as her sister Ark Hyperion, with internal modifications to accommodate Asari social preferences, and captained by Alanis Atandra. The Andromeda Initiative was initially rejected as a human-driven boondoggle. It's a boondoggle! It's a clusterfuck by many Asari investors, and the construction of the Lucina was met with ridicule. However, the efforts drew the attention of several matriarchs who had assisted in previous attempts to send crewed missions to Andromeda, and their impassioned extranet addresses helped turn the tide of public opinion. At her departure ceremony, Ark Lucina was officially blessed by the Atama Politia, an organization of Slarist high priestesses from across the Asari republics. What the fuck ever. Ark Lucina traveled to the Initiative Rendezvous Point in 2184 and left the Milky Way as part of the initial departure. Tempest technology. Tempest required a number of experimental technologies. I don't really care about this, so I'm just going to scroll through so you can pause if you want to. There's mention of vibrations. Research capabilities. Stealth systems. I'm curious if this is majorly different. Okay, so they... Systems Alliance and Turin Hierarchy co-developed the IES, Internal Emission Sink Stealth System, for small military frigates. Unknown how the Initiative acquired the system for its survey ships. IES stealth technology is classified, despite no record of negotiations exists. Okay, so they basically stole this, and that's one of the things they implied our pilot, whose name I've forgotten, may have been involved in stealing technology for the ship. Capture heat and radiation emitted, less electromagnetic particle radiation, lower heat procedures, additionally breakthrough in cryogenics allows the sourcing to be more effectively refrigerated, allowing longer stealth time before the sinks must be vented out. Tempest can remain stationary in stealth for several hours or travel at FTL and silent running for shorter periods. They don't mention my favorite fact about the stealth system in the original Mass Effect, which they made perfectly clear, and I'm glad they did, which is that it's controlling your emissions and your ability to be detected by sensors. It doesn't render your ship invisible. You can look out a window and see the Normandy, even in stealth mode. I'm really glad they pointed that out, because it just makes it a bit less silly than the Star Trek versions. Ark Natanis. Ark Natanis constructed in around Aventon, a once lucrative mining planet, the Turian home system, Trebia. The Ark was named after the legendary spacefarer Pelex Natanis, who was believed to be the first Turian to travel through a mass relay. The Natanis is built to similar specifications as the Saurian human Arks, but with minor changes to accommodate her dextro amino acid based passengers. Natanis is captained by the renowned Dia Patreon of the 6th Fleet. Go online today and support your favorite Patreon creators. Like most economical ventures, Turian investors were turned to the Andromeda initiative by their clients, the Volus. The Turian hierarchy was initially kept in the dark to keep the initiative a private civilian project. Ark Natanis traveled to blah 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 blah. Tempest Laboratories, you can read this if you feel like it. I can't do any more of this. Ark Hyperion, I'm pretty sure we already read about. But that's it, isn't it? Yeah, that's it. We cleared the Codex. Next time, we could actually do stuff, although in reality, what we'll probably do is go talk to all of our crew members for a post-mission wrap-up. But it's at least theoretically possible that we can do something. Did I kill enough time that we actually have more strike team missions ready to go? No, but by the... Oh, we do actually. Awaiting debrief. Foxtrot failed in their silver mission, but at least they didn't get a negative trade out of it, because that would have upset me. We got 24 minutes left before Mike is ready for another mission. All we got left, though, are silver missions. 44% chance of success. 44% chance of success. I guess I gotta wait until new missions pop. This one expires in 6 hours. This one expires in 6 hours. Do not want to play that in multiplayer. Huh. Yeah, this is a little frustrating. It's like I can't get any more use out of my team. So I don't know why you would want to have a whole bunch of teams going. But anyway, they got a small experience reward, and they didn't get the cool shit I was hoping they'd get. But it was it was slightly better than the coin flip, and they lost. So now I kind of don't feel like sending them money. Slightly better than the coin flip. Well, it looks like a new mission showed up. 44%. 55%. 44%. Oh, what the hell. This is the one they just tried and failed, so we'll send them on this again. I think this is the one they just tried and failed. So we'll send them. It's a coin flip. Maybe this time they can do it. I guess the Apex ones you can continue. These other ones you only get one shot. But poor Team Mike, when they come back from that mission, unless a new bronze mission has appeared, they won't have any missions where they have any chance. So that's going to be it for this video. When we come back, it's probably going to be time to chit-chat with the crew. I'd like to get to some gameplay, but I don't even know if during this recording session I currently have planned we're going to get that far. This is a game where if you do all the chit-chat and read all the Codex, you can take quite a bit of time. I'm MysteriousJG.